outside my plasma membrane. So, let me think here for a second. What is it that would have to have the plasma membrane? You guys, come on. I know y'all know that answer. What is it that has to have the plasma membrane? The cell. Okay, so out here, all right, because if it's extracellular, I've got cells everywhere. Cells make up what? A tissue. So now I'm trying to show you guys a representation of an area of the body that's a tissue with its cells and the blood supply. Yes, no, maybe. What did we say just a little bit ago from that question that I talked about that you find embedded in the plasma membrane of cells? And they function as what? Like a receptor. So I am now at a cell of my target tissue of an organ, and I'm able to get a chemical messenger to it. So this chemical messenger that I have, just this little itty bitty dot right here, okay, embedded in these cells could be that protein where it could attach. Is everybody following me? Okay, where it could attach depending upon the mode of action. And I showed two ways. We could have that chemical cross the protein, or it could affect that protein. But either way, what did it change for that cell? Cells can only make proteins, which are their product. So therefore, that chemical messenger, if accepted by the receptor of the cell, would affect the product made. Does that make sense? Want me to say it again, Dustin? Hormones are chemical messengers. They have a job to do. If it gets released into the extracellular fluid, and if there are cells with receptors for that chemical, when the chemical attaches to the receptor, it will alter that cell's product. Yes, no, maybe. For example, let's say, because remember, I'm trying to give you the representation of, because you all know that cells make tissues, tissues make organs, organs make organ systems make up organisms, right? How did I say that very first week, how did I say that everything in the body was going to happen? At what level did I say everything was going to happen in the body? At the cellular level. So, let's say that this tissue that I'm representing, that this is an ovary, which is an organ. Is that correct? Tissues make up organs, right? Cells make up this tissue. Hormones. Do I have hormones that affect my ovaries? Yes. Because the job of the ovary, the cells, are to take, for example, LH, which we'll get to, and affect estrogen levels so that this cell can develop an egg that can be spit out at the proper time to be fertilized by a sperm. Does that make sense? You guys, that's our endocrine system. If you understand that, we got this chapter whooped. Because this is the endocrine system. Because their chemicals, their product that they make, these glands, these tissues, this system, the product that it makes, it's going to go into the bloodstream. It's going to make its way to its target tissue, to its target cells, to affect the product. Is that not cool? Stop me now if you have any questions. Okay, so now that I've pretty much discussed the whole chapter, let's look at some of what these hormones are, what they do, and what they do. So one of the things that your textbook talks about, it does talk about the difference between this nervous system and this endocrine system, because they are going to be the two systems that control the body. We're going to find that we're looking at the endocrine system, but we also have come across stuff called exocrine, okay? This is referring to the mode in which it gets rid of its product, okay? An exocrine gland uses a duct, okay? For example, think about an oil gland, okay? We're going to find in this system, one of the organs is going to be considered endocrine and exocrine, the pancreas, okay? For the most part, the mode by which that this system is going to work is through the bloodstream, okay? Therefore, what we'll find is that the organs of this system, they are very well vascularized. They have a very good blood supply. When we begin to look at the organs, all right, the ones that we will see, now liver, okay, I will say this right now about the liver, okay? The liver is so unique. You could probably spend an entire 2 semesters on that one organ. Okay, that's how unique it is. So we're just going to hit and miss it. Okay. The pancreas, like I said, we're going to see it in another system also, the digestive system, okay, because of the fact that it does both endocrine and exocrine. So now, if we take a peek at the organs, pineal gland. I will be completely honest with you. Doesn't really matter to me. I'll give you a little bit of information, but other than that, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on it. But oh boy, are we going to talk about the hypothalamus. Do you happen to remember what I referred to this as being? Does anybody remember? Primitive. But now, and I wish I had more board. Daggone it. Because I want to talk about that for a second. Everybody got this, right? Okay. What 2 systems have I continuously said control the body? Our nervous system and our endocrine system. Do you guys remember that? The hypothalamus? Because we looked at it with the brain, right? Look at what we got now. Here's my hypothalamus. Okay? Bada bing, bada boom. My pituitary gland. What is it having a direct connection to?
Is it linked to endocrine system?
Well, my pituitary gland is linked directly to my nervous system because we have talked about the hypothalamus, the thalamus, this hypothalamus. Do you remember how it had all these little nuclei in it? I think there were like 5 different nuclei. And now I'm looking at what is known as the master gland, which is my pituitary gland. I am now looking at what is known as the master gland of the endocrine system and a direct connection to an area of my brain. The area of the brain that I have continuously called primitive. Do you remember that? What did I just tell you? Tell me what I just told you.
Our pituitary gland links directly to